All right, we are recording. It's go time. So welcome everybody. It's so great that you're here. There's a lot of people, almost 150 people, and possibly more be joining us. The whole idea here is we're going to go step by step for assuming you are beginners. But for those of you who are not beginners, okay, my friend Nicole Acosta is in the room. She's probably forgotten more about technology than I'll ever know. We've got lots of people in here who know a tremendous amount about technology and about this. So if you want, you can also go ahead. For the majority of the session, I'm going to be walking people who need that step by step. We're just going to create a sample. But for those of you who kind of want to jump ahead, I've kind of hyperlinked these slides here such that there's a whole skills section. If you want to jump ahead, I'm going to weave these skills, as many of them as I can, in 45 minutes, 41 minutes. And we'll go as we go. But if you want to kind of dive into what some of the examples are, if you want to just veer off the path for a while and then come back and maybe ask some questions, I'll be focusing on answering the questions about, yeah, you did miss a bit.ly. Here it is. I'll be focusing on sort of the questions for the skills that I'm doing as I'm doing them. Okay, does that make sense? So if you want to veer off the path, that's totally fine, but I'll be kind of focused on supporting as we go with the skills and things as we go, if that makes sense. Okay, but you're certainly welcome to veer off and back on the path as you wish to. You can have this slide deck for as long as you want. And so I'll jump into some of these examples, sort of what's even possible. What are we even talking about? But first I want to acknowledge the several people who have raised my capacity. I certainly haven't invented this. You know, it's kind of a craze everywhere. And I learned a lot from a person called Easy EdTech. I think her name is Jen. I don't know her last name. But I've given you a link to her YouTube site. She's really good. There's so much more. There's an awesome Facebook group called Bitmoji Craze for Educators. And that's where I got most of the examples. Not all of them, but most of them. It's really good. Yeah, if anyone could put that bit.ly back in, that'd be great. I'll copy it here in a second. But this is a closed group. You have to register and answer a couple of questions, but it only took me a few minutes. And there's so many resources and ideas here. So that's certainly a great resource to go back on. My good friend Trish Rothie, who knows so much, she has created an awesome resource. I've put it in this shared Google Drive link, which I'll share with you in a moment. Also a lady named Lisa. I'm going to offend the people in the room. Mazzariego, Lisa Mazzariego. Awesome YouTube channel. And so I've linked to, or she's also got a Twitter account, but she's got a great YouTube channel as well. So check that one out. Lots of great resources, and I used a lot of those. What are we even talking about here? Okay. Well, you've seen some of these. Bitmoji virtual classrooms, and essentially what we're talking about is creating in a Google slide a scene with some a virtual you, which is from your Bitmoji. And my assumption here is that you have created a Bitmoji of your own on your mobile device. And if not, you're going to need to download the Bitmoji app on your phone right away and just create a Bitmoji. And all the rest we'll do here together, starting with this extension. So we've got this virtual character in here. We've got another scene. And what we're seeing are people being very creative about hyperlinking to lots of different educational resources for their students. It might be a particular project, it might be some general stuff, might be people are making them for summer vacation, you know, things kids can do over the summer, or people are putting it in their weekly work. And so that's essentially it. And so I've got, you'll see on slide 3, you'll see on slide 3, and let me just get this URL to the slide deck for those people who need it still. All right. On slide 3, I've got a link to a Google Drive folder. Okay, and if you click on that Google Drive folder, it's a shared Bitmoji folder. I've put not only lots of about 15, 17 different sample slide decks, and I've tried to give people credit by putting their first name first. So you can open any of these to see these. I've also, for some of the files that I've used, which I'll demonstrate here, I've put some of those samples in there as well. And so, for example, let's open my friend Trisha's. So what you can do, the great part about all of these samples is not only can you see ideas, but you can file, make a copy. Okay, and any of these things, any of these particular samples, you can go file and then make a copy and make your own copy of these. And Trisha's not only has, is a great example on slide 1, but she's created lots of different scenes and in lots of different locations to give different ideas. She's also given some extra furniture, that you can even copy and paste into your own scene. So there's so much here, and that's just one of them, okay? But I've given lots of different examples in this Bitmoji drive. Creating a birthday message with some animated confetti. There's people using this to create a Google Classroom banner. There are people, yeah, it's really unreal. And this is the tip of the iceberg. If you join that Facebook group, if you're a Facebook person, join that Facebook group. There's a second language example in here. So many different things here you can look at, as well as copy. There's even some search terms in here to help you search your own Bitmoji. So check that out. I'm not going to spend much time on that at all, but I'm just simply going to focus on jumping into my own sample. So what you might want to do is kind of do double duty here, where you might want to have a window, another slide window open with a blank Google slide, and then also be listening or tuning back to watch a little bit back and forth. What you're going to need is does anybody not have the Bitmoji Chrome extension? I'm going to give this, and so what it will require is Bitmoji is owned by Snapchat, I believe. And so what you do is when you have installed the Bitmoji app on your mobile device, you'll still be able to do a lot of this even if you don't have the Bitmoji extension today, okay? So don't worry if you don't have it or if you can't get it, but my assumption is that you have the Bitmoji and you have signed in there, and then basically this Chrome extension, when you install it, will give you access. It'll first ask you to sign in with your Bitmoji account, which is usually a Snapchat account. And that will get you access to all those Bitmojis, which you can bring in. All right, Jenny, let me give you this link again to the slide deck. Okay, and then the link above that will get you to the Chrome web store, where you can just hit add to my Chrome, and that'll bring your Bitmoji up here. You'll need to sign in. So I'm going to just start from scratch here. I've got a little sample in here, but I'm just going to open up a brand new page, blank as anything. A shortcut to create a brand new Google slide is slides.new. And if you have a layout where it is, sort of like this, a title, you can either just click and drag to select everything and then just go delete, or you can just go to slide, apply layout, and then just choose blank. Either way. So feel free to veer off the path if you want, but I'm going to start going through these particular skills, and we're just going to start building together, okay? And I'll try to keep an eye on the chat for those people who are following along with me for this. All right, the first thing we're going to do on our blank slide, you should see at the top of the screen, if you've not clicked on anything else, you've got your blank slide, you should see an option for background. Yes. You can also go to Slide, Change Background. Okay. Either way, we're going to get into this background piece, okay? And in this case, we are going to choose image. Okay, so we're not going to make it a solid color, but we're going to go choose image. And right in here for the slide background, there are lots of different options, and we're going to choose Google image search. Am I going too fast? Too slow? Everything good? All right. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Lori. You related to Brian? No. Okay. Guy named similar last name from Calgary Catholic. I met him once. Okay. Sorry about that. Back to the show. So what you want to search for, a very popular search term for our background is wall floor. Some people will type wall floor background. And what that'll bring up are several different options. This one in the top left is a very popular one. So I'm just going to go for that one. But if you want to choose something different, you can. Some people will also choose terms like empty classroom. I kind of like the wall floor. All right. And now we've got started. Good. So that is the first part, is to get that background. And once again, we just chose background. You should see it top center, or slide, change background, or choose background, and then choose the image. And our Google image search term is wall floor. Now, the next part of this is, let me just go, I'm just going to hit our list of skills down here and go back and forth. All right, so let's search for some items now. So what are some things we want to put into this background? Well, some people will choose things like a whiteboard, or a kind of something that looks like a smartboard. So for that, we're going to go to the Insert menu. Then we're going to choose Image. And we are going to search the web. Good. Insert image, search the web. And this will open up a Google search right on the right side inside your Google Slides. And the other beautiful part about this is these are all copyright-free images. So I'm going to choose whiteboard. And you'll see several different options there. You know what? Another important feature for these search terms is what helps a lot is adding the word transparent behind your search. So whatever you're searching, you want a plant, you want a cherry, you want whatever you want, add the word transparent at the back. And what that will do is when I put this in, you can either double click on that image or just click it and put insert. Now you can see around the sides of this image, they're transparent, right? Just kind of what we want. We don't want it to be solid white or solid black. So now we got a whiteboard on here, and you can move that wherever you want. Easy to drag and drop and move things around. Okay, so get in a whiteboard. All right. We can add other things in. How about a couch or a chair? Search the web. Couch, transparent. There we go. Oh, there's some nice ones, hey? So you can click it once and go insert, or double click it. You'll get really good at resizing things, moving them around. Okay, you know what the corner dots do compared to the side dots, right? The side dots will kind of squish it, which is okay too if you want to turn your couch into a chair. But the corner dots will keep it the same proportion. Okay, how do you get rid of those words if you see the add to title? So let's say you've got this on your screen. Well, you can just sort of click on the edge of that border And now choose Delete key on your keyboard or backspace. Just click on that and delete. So I've got a couch on here. Now at this point I might want to insert one of my Bitmojis. If you don't have the Bitmoji, where did I type in transparent? So here's where, insert image, search the web, and just right after the word I type, look on my screen in the upper right corner, whatever the word is, I just type couch transparent, chair transparent, plant transparent, bookshelf transparent, coffee cup transparent. Sometimes adding the word PNG instead of transparent will also work, because often PNG pictures will have a transparent, but I find transparent works quite well. So at this point, I'm going to put in my Bitmoji. Now I want a Bitmoji character that's kind of sitting. So I can type in sitting. Another good search term to search, and you can see the first one there is sort of a sitting pose. And so I can also type in pose into Bitmoji, and it'll give me a whole bunch of poses with no words. And that's kind of useful. But in this case, I'm just going to type in sitting. Now, you can right click and go copy image and then right click paste, but you can also, you should be able to just drag it down if you're okay. If you don't have a mouse, this might be a little bit of a pain. How did I get the Bitmoji extension? We'll put that link back in the group chat. And basically all it is after that is it's up there. You'll have to sign in to your Bitmoji account. And unfortunately, I don't have time to walk us through that piece. So I do apologize if that's a barrier for you, but you'll be able to do everything else. Once you're there, again, click and drag. And then once you've just dragged that image down, you can just drag it down onto your, now, what if I want my guy to be turned the other way? Now we're going to learn a really cool way to adjust our images. We're going to flip our images, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I've selected this image. You see this option at the top, format options? When you select your Bitmoji, do you see format options? Another way to get to the format options is simply right clicking on your Bitmoji. Come on, right click and choose format options. However you get it, you're going to see a format options open up on the right side of your screen. And that's one that we're going to come back to several times today. Oh yeah, nice hair. This is also the 20 pounds lighter version of me. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, a little too much COVID eating for this guy. So I'm going to go to the size and rotation part of the format options. I've already selected it. Okay, if I don't select it, I might not see that format options thing show up. So I've selected it, I choose format options, this pops open, hit my little arrow for the size and rotation. Aha, look down there, flip horizontally. Boom, see that? Flip, flip, flip. So you can flip things back and forth as you need. Okay, now there is another way to do this. You can right click right on your item and you can choose rotate, flip horizontally. So whatever works for you, you're going to find something that a technique that works best for you. And again, how I got that Bitmoji onto the page was I went up to my Bitmoji extension, everything's on, and I just picked my Bitmoji, I typed sitting in this case, and found that one. You can either right click and copy and then right click paste, but I went to poses. In this case, I just chose sitting. We're going to look at how to get rid of those words as well in our next step for those of you who want. So don't worry if there are some words there you want to get rid of. We can get rid of those easily. Well, fairly easily. But my favorite way of getting the Bitmoji on the page is simply just dragging and dropping right from the Bitmoji extension. Okay. All right. So it looks like he's kind of fallen off the couch there. Now his feet are hanging off the ground. I can't really make this perfect. I suppose I could stretch him out a little bit, but We'll just keep it like that for now. So we can use that insert image, search the web, and you can add in all sorts of other things. And if you look through the examples, you'll see tons of them. You can even copy and paste from other slide decks once you make your own copy. Things like bookshelf. You know, some people will put a desk. Now, there may be the odd occasion where you come across a picture that you want, and it is it doesn't have a transparent background. I'll show you what I mean. Or you may come across your own Bitmoji where it has some words and you want the pose but not the words. We're going to look at that. I'm going to go to Google image search, okay? Images.google.com. Now, why am I searching from here instead of within Google Slides? You'll see. So let's say I choose puppy. And I see a cute little guy that I would like on my screen, but I don't really want this background. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this picture and I'm going to go save image as. Okay, right click on your picture, save image as. We're going to open up a website called Remove Background. It's remove.bg and it is awesome. It will change your Bitmoji classroom life. Maybe not your whole life, but who knows? Maybe it will change your life. So I'm going to save this image as. I'll just save this picture. Oh, look, I've already saved him. Cute dog. I've already saved it. Save it somewhere. You have to save it. That's why I've come to a separate page because you can't really save pictures off your image sidebar. Now I'm going to go to a website called remove.bg. This is awesome. Let me just paste it in the group chat. And what you can do with this, and this works on your mobile device too, by the way. Remove.bg, just choose upload an image, or you can just drag and drop a file. So if I have this little guy in my images, where is that? Here's my cute dog. I can just drag and drop it right onto the screen, anywhere on the remove.bg website. What? Let's try this again. Looks like I took a little too long. No, please. I'm doing a live demo. Oh no. Let's try this again. I promise this works. There we go. So check it out. It should just do it all for you. Shows your original picture. Should show your original picture somewhere. And look, there's our dog with no background. And if you see on pictures a little checkerboard, that means it's transparent. So now at this point, you just choose download. And it will just download. You'll see it in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. So back in my Bitmoji, now see it down there, one cute dog PNG. It's right down there. I can just literally drag that onto my screen if I want to. Or I can insert image, upload from computer, and just find out where the cute dog with the no background. Let's see if I can right click and copy image right off of here so I don't have to download it. I'm not 100% sure if this will work. Let's find out. Okay, sure enough, it works. Okay, so we can just from that, you don't even have to download it if you don't want to. And we're just going to right click copy, right click paste. So removing a background works really, really well. Now, if you have a Bitmoji where you have a pose you really like, let's say this one here, yes, but I don't want the words yes. I just want fist pump. I'll put my own words if I want, or not. What you can do on here, you're going to have to, we can upload this to remove.bg because there's another feature of remove.bg that we haven't looked at yet. we can edit. That's what we're going to do. We're going to paint away those words. So how we do that is we open up our Bitmoji, we find the picture we want. Now we're going to right click on that, or if you're on a Chromebook, 2-finger tap. My friend Trish calls it a snake bite. So you teach the kids how to right click. Snake bite on the trackpad. Maybe you guys also have your own words for that. So right click on the picture. In this case, we're not dragging and dropping. You know what? Will it work to drag and drop a picture right on here? Let's find out. I don't know if it will. We will soon find out. It looked like it was going to work there. It kind of had something going on like it was going to work, but I don't think it did. Nope. So you have to actually first save it. That's kind of what I thought, but wasn't sure. So I'm going to right click on this Bitmoji picture and go save image as, save it somewhere. Okay, I've already saved it, but you can do that. You can save it if you wish to. Now in remove.bg, you're going to go upload an image, or if you have it in a folder that's handy, you can just drag and drop it onto the screen. All right, so check this out now, because it's already transparent, but I want to get rid of these words. And we're going to do that by hitting the edit button. Okay, do you see that in here, the edit button? Can you copy and paste it in? I don't think so, Lily. It might, but it hasn't worked for me. But, oh, look at that. They've even got a few different options here, but we're going to use the erase restore tool. Erase restore. Now we're going to take this little brush, and I can make my brush nice and big. And look at this. I've got it on erase mode. Gone. You words. Be gone, ye. All right, and that's it. So erase whatever you want to erase. Make your brush size. Does that make sense? Everybody see that part? Now you can just hit download. Click download, it'll download there. And back on your sample or your picture, you can just simply, again, drag and drop from that little download area in your browser right onto your screen, or insert, image, upload. Anybody need that again? Anybody need the remove.bg again? It's a really important tool for removing the background. Makes it look more realistic when you've got a plant or something. You can even take a picture of yourself. Real person, real self. Tech with Bitmojis. So let's do that again. Go into remove.bg. This is kind of cool that it has remembered some of the pictures I have. Let's say I found a picture online. Let's go with this little guy. So I'm going to right click on the picture I want. I save the image as, and I'll just save it somewhere where I know where it is. And then on the remove.bg website, I click upload image. Find my picture. And what should happen through artificial intelligence magic is it should just remove the background. And it kind of worked for that dog, didn't it? And again, I can just, I didn't think I could, but I actually can. Copy the image, not copy image address, not copy link address, but copy image. And then on your own slides, Control V is a good paste shortcut. Okay. So it's up to you if you'd like anything that doesn't have a transparent background. Or remember, you can use that remove.bg tool. You can hit the edit button and you can use the erase restore tool. Look for the edit button, erase restore, change your brush size, and just paint away anything on your picture that you don't want. Oh, good times. That's Angela. That's, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Oh, but super funny. A little dark humor on a Friday. I think might be a Friday. Bitmoji. By the way, if you do like text and you search for something, let's say I search for yes, there's a whole bunch of yes ones, right? But you might want something in words that really for sure will not exist in Bitmoji. For example, Mr. Moss rocks. So here's a search tip for you. Whoops. You can type in whatever you want and it'll just pick random poses and add those words. That one looks pretty good, doesn't it? And if you don't like what you see, just X out of it and just type the same words again, because it won't know. How will it know what Mr. Moss rocks means? But I'm going to say Mr. Moss rocks. Whoops. And it'll give me a half dozen more. One with an idea. Oh, and a beer. Maybe not for our classroom Bitmoji, but maybe that one. So you can type in whatever you want and it'll just pick something randomly. So there are so many different categories in here you can search from, or you can use the search bar to search through their popular ones or their facial ones or whatever you want. Or you can just type in whatever words you want if you like those pictures. Where are we at with the skills? Okay, we've got a lot to go here and we only have a few minutes. Man, oh man, I'll stick around extra if you want. I also give you instructions on those ones that we won't have time for today. Flipping objects. So I'm going to add in a chair. Oh, we did see how to flip an object. Okay, well that's good. Let's say I wanted this couch to be a different color. I can change the color of this couch. Let's see. So I'm going to go to the format options again. I'm going to either right click on my picture and choose format options, or I can just select my couch once and go to format options. Check this out. We had used this for the flipping at one point, but look, there's a recolor. And I can recolor this couch. I can color it blue. I can recolor it yellow. I can recolor it whatever I want. Or I can go to no recolor. So that's a nice option you have for recoloring. Now let's say I'm going to put the Bitmoji icon on here. Let's say I wanted to make a text box or my text or a shape this exact color of green. Or let's say I want to make my wall that exact color of green. We can do that. I want to share with you an extension, a Chrome extension called Colorzilla. There are lots of color picker extensions, but one of the, I think the easy ed tech person showed this particular one. What I like about it, just kind of removes one step. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's say I wanted to add some text onto my whiteboard. So here's my text box. And I want my text, I'm going to say, good morning, grade 5. Welcome to class. And people are using this whiteboard text for everything from an agenda to putting their learning intentions and success criteria for their lesson activities. In some cases, they're just putting straight up hyperlinks on here. So I can have, by the way, go through in the fonts, choose more fonts, and there's a whole world of fonts waiting for you. I'm not going to go through that today, but let's say I want this, I want to bold it, so I want that to be this darker green right here. So what I do once I've got Colorzilla, watch this for a little bit, okay? This is quick, watch this, because this will apply whether you want to change the background of a shape, whether you want to change text color, anything where you can choose a color, you can use this with. I'm clicking on it, looks like a little dropper almost. So I'm clicking it, then it turns into crosshairs. You see that? And this little black thing shows up. So I just go, I want this color right here. I click it, check it out. That color, the hex code for that color has been copied to the clipboard. So now I'm going to go to my text. And I'm going to highlight it. And you see the text color there? So I've highlighted my text, or if it's a shape, for example, and you want the fill color to be different, go to wherever you can choose the color. Look above for the Colorzilla extension link. It's straight above. So I'm going to go to the colors, and we're going to go down to custom. So whether it's fill color, text color, any kind of color, go down to custom. And aha, here's this. It says hex and then a number sign and 6 characters. It's copied already. It put that hex code for that color I wanted on my clipboard. So now I just need to paste. Control V. There it is. Okay. There it is. Now my text is the same color as that thing I wanted. So once again, once you've got Colorzilla, click it, it turns into crosshairs, and wherever you're going, look at the little black thing at the top. As I'm moving around the page, it's picking all the different colors. Let's say I want it to be the color of my fake blonde hair. Click that, it's copied to the clipboard, okay? And now I can change that text or the fill color. Let's say I can fill this text box. I'll fill it with a custom color. And in this case, I will paste. There's that golden color. And now it's the color of my hair. Does that make sense? Could I change the color of the background? Yes. And how you would do that, let's say you had added this wall floor, but you don't really want it to be pink. One of the techniques I saw, I believe it was Easy EdTech again, in her YouTube video. She just inserted a shape. All this is a rectangle. So she's going to go to the Insert, Shape, and look for the rectangle. And then simply drag and drop a rectangle. Now, we're going to learn another skill here. Don't think you can change the couch, an object that already has something. I don't think you have the option to change a fill color on an object like that. You just have to use that recolor tool. All right, so the problem is this thing is over top of everything. So do this at the beginning. But what you can do is you can arrange the order, and you can send backwards. So it can start layers upon layers upon layers. But look at the keyboard shortcut. This is a good key. Even if you're not a keyboard shortcut person, this is a good one to learn. Control down arrow will move something back a layer. Each time you hit the control down, 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 down. So that's what I'm going to do. Watch this. Control down, down, down. It's going behind, behind. All right, I think that's it, isn't it? If I keep going, at a certain point, it's going to be behind my actual, oh no, I guess that was my actual background. So I could just send it to the back. So now the fill color is gray, but if I wanted it to be, oh, look at that. It remembers the last couple of custom colors I had done, but you could also use that Colorzilla and make it this Bitmoji. But I don't think you can change the couch that way. So if I try to change, it doesn't even give me an option to change the fill color for the couch when I select it. The only thing I would be able to do is use the recolor tool in the format options. Now, before we go, there are still some important things we haven't learned how to do yet. And that is, the major part of this is hyperlinking, okay? So let's say I want a picture book. Let's imagine I have a bookshelf here, which I don't yet. I'm going to go to, I want a picture of a book called, oh, can somebody name me a good kids book? Let's go, Where Oliver Fits. That's a good book, but including and feeling included. So I'm going to go to Amazon and find that book. There's the picture, there's the book cover. And I'm going to right click and copy this image. Okay. And I'm going to now Control V to paste it onto my scene. Come on. Let's try that again. Right click, copy image. Come on. Oh, it did show up. Probably multiple times just after I left. So I'm going to make this a lot smaller. And let's say I want to hyperlink this to a YouTube video of where Oliver fits. I can just go to YouTube. And this will work for anything. So if you have Quizlet study sets, if you want to do some quizzes.com sort of review stuff, if you have online books, online videos. So let's say I find this particular book reading of where Oliver fits. I simply copy the website, any website, whether it's a game, a video, or whatever you want to go, whatever you want to hyperlink to, your Google Classroom, anything. Copy that website address, and I'm going back into here. Now, whatever I want to be hyperlinked, and I can make it an object that I've put on the page. I can hyperlink text that I highlight, or I can even add in shapes. Some people will make their own little buttons. Okay, and by the way, if you add your own shapes, you can double click on those shapes and type any words you want right in those shapes. Center it if you wish, but in this case, I'm going to make this a hyperlink. So I click it. Now I see a little link button up there. Or if you want to insert link. Now, my friend Trish likes the keyboard shortcuts. Her recommendation is Control K. When you've got your option, hit Control K to open up the link. So that basically opens this up. And now I have that YouTube link copied. I just hit paste. And it goes into here. So now my scene will become more interactive, and if you look through the examples, you'll see loads of examples. One particular teacher has loads and loads of Quizlet study sets that she's linked through different shape boxes of hers, so that link tool still shows up for there. And by the way, while you can certainly paste a link into here to make it a hyperlink, you can also hyperlink to different slides in your presentation. So it kind of jumps from one slide. Instead of going to a different website, it goes to a particular slide. This thing also works as a search tool. Step by step. Okay, so and it'll give you the first couple of, let's go back, Street Boys. Let's see if it pulls anything up. There it is, a YouTube video by Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the, it's New Kids on the Block, actually, my bad. Sorry about that. For the fans out there, I didn't mean to offend. So yeah, it also actually works as a search term. It's a search box. So however you want to do it, learning how to add hyperlinks to your either images, or you want to highlight a word and then hit the link, or you want to make a shape and hit a link. Anything you want can turn into a link. There are a lot more skills that we could do. Let's see where we're at in terms of our skills list. We've got a pretty good job of this. There are ways you can also crop out parts of images. So let's say I chose, and I'm a little bit over time here, but I'll just make this one of my last demos here. So let's say I wanted to choose something, and I wanted to crop out part of it. Let's say it would be pretty easy to crop out the air hugs word. I don't think it is going to be easy, but if you have a picture, here's a good example. If I wanted to add in, insert an image, remember I'm going to search in bulletin board, transparent, don't forget that. So here's an example of a bulletin board that has some push pins on the side. I don't want the push pins, but I want the bulletin board. So what I can do is crop out this part of the picture. See you later, Wanda. I don't have your emails, so no, but if you look back on the same Sked site, you will see the recording link in about an hour. Now, to crop an image, you can either select the image and look for the crop button up here. My favorite way is just to double click on that image. There's some dark borders that will show up around that image. And you'll see these little lines, these little handles in the corners and in the side. And what's different about kind of squishing a picture is when you crop it now, you see these darker handles, you still see the cropped out part, it's transparent. If I click away, it's now gone. But now the picture hasn't squished. I've just actually gotten rid of a part of it. That's what you want. Now, if you had a picture of yourself or something, you can also, with that picture, you can also, there's a little drop down arrow next to the crop button. You can crop it into a shape. So let's say I wanted my bulletin board for whatever reason to be shaped like a circle or an oval. You can turn any picture crop it into a shape. That's a terrible example, but if I had a picture of myself, that's how I did these pictures of these people. I just brought the picture on here and I used the crop to shape and turn it into a circle. So that is certainly something you can do as well with cropping. There are ways, I've got some tutorials for how to, on slide 20, insert videos. People will put in like fake television screens, for example, or a fake movie theater background. We'll add videos. This works great if you're using Screencastify as well. Just insert that video from your Google Drive. I've also got, occasionally you'll have a flat picture where you have a sort of a straight on picture, but you kind of want it to be flat, like this particular rug. You want it to look flat sitting on your floor of your virtual classroom. So I've given you a link to this website called LunaPic, and you can do lots of different editing options with LunaPic. But the one that I've linked to directly is the adjust perspective. And so you bring in a picture, and what you do here, let's see, you go to this perspective, and then you basically, what you do is just drag the little handles in to make it look flat, and then hit apply. And then you'll see that it will just drag the handles in. Now it looks more flat, and you can just right click and copy. But I've found that when I do just search for a rug, you'll often see some that are already flat. That's sort of a just in case kind of thing. There are some other tutorials in here that, for example, adding a speech bubble and actually adding an audio recording.
Visit online-voice-
So I've given you some, on any of these skill pages, I've given you some of the instructions. So that's a handy one. Audio is a little bit trickier. You have to use a tool, and I recommend online-voice-recorder.com. Let me just copy that link for you. But it's in here. And that online voice recorder, you simply hit the record button. This is my audio recording. Hit stop, it'll process it, and all of a sudden give you a save button. And there it is, downloaded, MP3. So you just basically find your Google Drive folder that you want to save that recording in, and drag it and drop or upload it from your download. And it'll now be in there in your Google Drive. And so once you want to insert it, just go to the insert menu and go audio. And if it doesn't find the most recent one, you can just go to recent, and there it'll be. And when you insert an audio recording, it just basically shows up as a little play button. There it is. I can just drag it to where I want it. resize it if you need to, and then it just has a play button. I've also given you some tips on how to make sure that that thing is shared. Thank you, Melissa, for putting in the, Melissa Petrick, thank you for putting in that link to the bit.ly to the slides for Angela. So I'll stick around. Sorry, I've gone several minutes overtime, as I always seem to. There are some really geek out skills. Proceed with caution. By the way, if you like this text, I made it with a website called textcraft.net. Makes some Minecraft text. You can copy and paste that in here too. So if you want your Animoji off your Apple Animoji, if you have an iPhone 10 or newer, you've got this Animoji feature. And so I've given you, this video shows you a full tutorial of how you can bring it in either as a full recording with audio, which you could put in a fake TV like I've done here. Come on, is that just an image? Maybe it's not a video. Or you can save it as an animated GIF using a different tool called Unscreen, which actually removes the background of a video clip, just like remove.bg does for a straight up picture. How do I make my Bitmoji move? So to make your Bitmoji move, you simply find your Bitmoji that you want, make a new slide, add on a Bitmoji, click it there, and I'm going to drag and drop one. And then once I've got that selected, I see an option here to animate. Now there is also, I can also go to slide. Nope, insert, my bad, insert animation. So whichever way you do it, now what do I want? Do I want it to fade in? No, I want it to fly in from below. Hit play, on click. So I click, whee. So there it flies in. The downside of animating your Bitmojis or anything on your screen is that you have to be in presentation mode to see those animations. I have all the instructions are in these skill slides. If you look down into at the bottom of this slide, you'll see the instructions on every one of those things. But Melissa Putman has put the link to the slide deck. Thank you again, my friend. So the final thing, this one is probably going a little bit too far, but if you have a friend or a co-teacher, there is this thing called, it's a friend emojis hack. And it basically, at the end, will do this. Give you a whole bunch. Let me just zoom in a little bit. It'll give you, this is my wife and I. And so we, long story short, you can get dual Bitmojis on here. The instructions are here. It's beyond the basics, but I will stick around for those who want me to talk them through it. But I have given you the instructions right here. And I didn't create this spreadsheet. It's by an awesome, awesome person, Michelle Armstrong. I'm not sure if Michelle is here. She was talking about coming. No, doesn't look like. All right, so I'm way over time. Sorry, everybody. We're almost at the 1 hour mark. So I will stop now, but I will stick around if anybody does have time or interest and have any more questions about any of the stuff we've talked about so far or any different things. But I'll just finish by putting that slide up there with the short URL again. I really appreciate you guys showing up here. Lots of people here, and thank you so much. Again, on that SCED page for this session, which is if you haven't got our to this session from our SCED page, it would be on this page. Actually, I'll just give you the direct link to this session, and soon this webinar recording link will turn into the actual recording. I'll have to manually do it. A recording which will be there for all of June, and I think you even have the option of downloading them. So, All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll stick around to answer questions, but if you've got to run, totally understood. I'm taking up most of your lunchtime. What's the best thing you have that you're having for lunch today? Or what's the best thing you're going to eat today? Bobby, is there a way to create a Bitmoji without using the app? I hear what you're saying. Not that I'm aware of. I believe you kind of have to have that Bitmoji app on your device. Now, if you have an iPhone, there are those animojis, but it's not quite the same. They don't show people. There are other web cartoon tools out there. There's a free one called Storyboard That. So it is a free online storyboard tool where you can kind of create cartoon characters. Might be a way. Ooh, shepherd's pie. I'm going to Boston Pizza tonight for nachos. It's kind of a Friday tradition. Been starving myself all week for it. All right, any other questions? Oh, teachers creating Bitmojis of all their students. Whew, that's an interesting one. I will say this, don't encourage students to use the Bitmoji extension. There are some inappropriate ones here, really bad ones. Don't do it. This is just for you. Should have mentioned that right off the hop. Yeah, you don't need Snapchat, but you do need the Bitmoji app, I think. I will definitely enjoy the nachos. All right, any other questions? Question on how to share the Google stuff from my personal account with my school Google account. Okay, so to do that, let's say you're starting a shared folder with some colleagues. I've got a folder here. This is my Bitmoji folder. I can share a file or an entire folder, and I can just choose share. Hit the down arrow next to that, or I can just, if it's an individual file, I can click on the file and there's a little person icon for sharing up above there. And then just type the name of either you want to share it personal with work or work from personal. And once you share it with that other account, if let's say it's in my personal account, I want to share it with my work account, but then I want my work account to be the owner. After you've added the person, you can come back to the sharing. So let's say I'm going to share it with I want to share this folder. I'll make them an editor. Okay, so that is my other personal account I want to share with. And now let's say I want to make that account the owner of these files. I can go back to the share and I see that person there. I can change it from editor to make owner. That's a handy thing to do with your Google Classroom as well, by the way. If you're going on a maternity or medical leave, there is a way in Google Classroom, if you add another teacher who's coming in, and then after they've accepted, you can actually go to that people tab and make that person the owner. If you're like leaving, you're gone for the year or whatever. How do people share their classroom with students? So what people will often do is we'll use a tool like Google Classroom and we'll add the slides in there. And again, we're even seeing people create slides. Let's say I'll go into here. So then once I'm in my Google Classroom in my classwork section, I can just create a material for students to view. And I can just add that from my Google Drive. And guess what? Because I've just worked on it, it'll be one of the very first things that shows up. So I just add it in there and create a title and post. So that's how some people will do it. I should also show, for those of you who are sticking around, if you did want to make a Google Classroom banner, let's say this is nice, but you want your own with a Bitmoji in here. To do that, you're going to make a slide. You're going to make a new presentation. And in your presentation, we're going to change the dimensions. You can change the dimensions. It does not have to be a 4x3 or a 16:9 slide. So if you want to make it into a book, you know, an 8.5 by 11 book, awesome. You want to make it a thin little banner for your Google Classroom, you can. To do that, we're going to go File, Page Setup. File, Page Setup. And instead of widescreen, I'm going to go to Custom, and then from inches, I'm going to turn it into pixels. So for the Google Classroom banner, choose 1600, not 16,000, but 1600 by 400. Now you can do all the same things. Here it is. I can get rid of some of these other things. You can add your Bitmoji, add whatever you want, and then whenever you're ready, File, Download as a PNG. Okay, now it's a banner for my Google Slides or my Google Classroom, my Google Forms, and download as a PNG, and then you can basically in your Google Classroom choose Upload Photo. If I make a copy of the slideshow, it's yours to keep. Yep, absolutely. Okay, good suggestions, Michelle. How did I get rid of the gray overlay in the Google Classroom banner? That, yeah, sometimes when you upload something, it wants to make this text readable, so it will darken your background. There is really no way around that I'm aware of. If you do it on a Google site, you can turn that piece off. Readability, I think it's called. The banner thing, is this in the lesson slideshow? It is not, but it is in the, I'll add it after the session is done. I'll add it as a, maybe I'll add that as a, under the Geek Out Skills. I'll add in the Google Classroom one, okay? So the rest of that is just your creativity. There are everything I've seen in these samples, man, everything from like alphabet charts, pocket charts, the alphabet listing along the top. There's all sorts of stuff. By the way, there's one thing, darn it, there's just never enough time, right? If you want to geek out some more, there is a Jiffy, again, not appropriate for students, but there's a Jiffy extension where, let's say I wanted to say confetti, transparent. So I can just put that on my drag and drop onto my page. And these are just animated GIFs. Get rid of those words. Now, there's a fine line between adding cool stuff and adding stuff that's totally distracting to learning. So it's up to you. Thank you very much, everyone. Still 70 some people. What is the last day of the sked for the ATA PD webinars? Today. Now, I know. Yeah, we wanted to make sure you guys had some time. I will say this, there is another one that's not officially led by us next week, Balancing Technology in an Online Learning Environment. Phil McRae is going to be presenting that, but it's hosted by Everactive Schools. But we just are sort of lending them our Zoom environment and this listing to kind of promote. But this is it. When are they online until? The end of June for sure. And we're going to be discussing as a team whether we should have them online forever or not. So if you have an opinion on that, feel free to email me. I'll carry forward your, forever. I will carry forward your messages of keeping them forever to our team. We'll do our best to make their best decision. You can also ask for us to come out. You want me to do a PD for your staff? Just ask. You know, I've done lots of these tech ones. There's whatever you've seen that I've done. If you want me to come to your school, your division, talk to your local, your PD local. My main zone that I support is the Northern Alberta zone, so that would be my first priority. But certainly through other, if other schools want a presentation, some are even kind of booking me to do Zoom stuff. So if you want that, just let me know. Come to Calgary. All right, sweet. Yeah, no, I'd love to. So that's another option. And you can always email me. Let me just put my email in here and say, hey, how do you do such and such? I'm also going to try to, through the month of June, put some shorter screen recordings on the, I'll keep posting to the Facebook site or to my own Twitter site. So there's my email address if you have any specific questions. Hey, how do you do this again? How do you do that again? And sometimes it's easier for me to just send you a quick screen recording with Screencast or something, which by the way, they extended to June 30th, free pro use. So that's nice. Which Facebook site is this? So we have an ATA PD Facebook site. Let me just go to that one. So actually I know the URL for that one. It's a short URL. So it's facebook.com/ATAPD. But if you are interested in the Bitmoji craze for educators, just go to Facebook. And so this is our ATA PD page. We have listings to all our sessions that we are doing, but also through June, we'll have more PD activities posted, sort of not live, but sort of in an offline fashion for you to look at and consider. The Facebook videos of the sessions are not exactly on our Facebook site, but they are on our SCED page, which is ATA PD Webinars 2020. That's an easy thing to remember, right? .sced.com, and then what you'll see here is these sessions, and you can actually filter by recorded webinars where there's a recording available, and it'll show you all the sessions that we've done since we started recording on March 30th. I was doing sessions for about a week before that. Was anybody here in any of those sessions that first week in March? Man, it's crazy. 2 months.
They were awesome.
Isn't it nuts? Thanks, Diane. Isn't it nuts? We've been here doing this together for 2 months. It's been so much fun, you guys. I'm really going to miss this. So it shows all the ones that we recorded. I did over 50 sessions. It's been just a blast. Well, I've done my best. Certainly not super professional, but definitely tried to help. And if any of you found it helpful, that's good enough for me. But you can also search Facebook for Bitmoji Craze for Educators, a private group. Just sort of ask to be invited. It's very easy. Doesn't take long. There are 90,000 people in that group. And they have a whole bunch of cool tags in here. Show and share your, share one. Show and share your work is where I got all these samples from. So it is gold. Gold, Jerry. All right, take care to all of you. How to create a Where's Waldo with Bitmoji. Woo! That's a good one. That is a good one. I guess just resize it really small. Somebody in this group did it though. Somebody in this group did it. So I'm just going to search in this group for Where's Waldo. Yeah, somebody in this group did a Where's Waldo. There are several actually. So that would be, I haven't done it before, but there's a good Where's Waldo Teachers one. So yeah, if you go into this Bitmoji craze for educators, if you get signed up for that, you can search for it there. Just drop me an email and I'll point you to if there's a YouTube video or oh, hang on, Teacher Edition. Oh, is that Where's Waldo? Maybe not. I thought it was there. Oh yeah, I Spy Where's Waldo. Here we go. Stay tuned. Link coming in. Public Where's Waldo Teacher Edition. So I don't know if you just add your own Bitmoji to that group one where hundreds of people have added theirs in. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Any other questions?